Forgotten Betrayal, the mustard gas experiments on Indian soldiers. Welcome to a haunting yet necessary exposé. Did you know Indian soldiers in the British Army endured secret mustard gas experiments during World War II? Their anguish has been buried beneath decades of silence. Today we uncover the heartbreaking truths and demand recognition for their sacrifice. The early 20th century saw Indian soldiers fighting valiantly for the British Empire. Yet behind the facade of honor lay grim stories of exploitation. The 1930s and 1940s weren't just about war, they were also about human experimentation. And Indian soldiers, they became involuntary subjects. Mustard gas, a deadly chemical designed to incapacitate enemies, became the centerpiece of British military tests. While the world witnessed valor on battlefields, hidden chambers in British India became sites of suffering and experimentation. These tests weren't for protection, but for power. Military facilities in colonial India turned into laboratories of pain. Indian soldiers, unaware of the trial's true purpose, were exposed to mustard gas under extreme conditions. Without consent and often without adequate protection, they endured horrific burns, breathing issues, and even permanent organ damage. The gas tests involved locking soldiers in chambers filled with lethal chemicals. Their suffering wasn't just physical, but psychological. Many were left traumatized, unable to comprehend why they had to endure such agony. To the colonial rulers, these soldiers were mere tools. The effects of mustard gas on the human body are devastating. It burns the skin, causes severe respiratory diseases, and sometimes leads to slow, agonizing death. Yet Indian soldiers, many in their teenage years, were forced to carry the invisible scars for the rest of their lives. Years later, veterans recalled their humiliation, confusion, and helplessness. Their accounts reveal an unspeakable cruelty. Most never received proper medical care, and the colonial officials silenced any plea for answers or justice. These soldiers became ghosts of British India, forgotten and abandoned. The military command had a simple approach: deny, distract, and dismiss. Declassified military documents reveal attempts to erase evidence of these experiments. Veterans from India who dared to speak were met with indifference or ridicule. Without records, proving their claims became nearly impossible. Journalists worldwide, decades later, unearthed documents proving these tests happened. Footage of official memos showed how colonial authorities justified their actions. These revelations were a slap in the face to the myth of a benevolent empire and confirmed the systematic silencing of Indian voices. Recognition for the victims didn't come easy. Families of those who endured the tests continue to speak out, demanding answers. Historians, journalists, and activists have amplified their stories, ensuring they are not lost to time, but justice remains elusive even today. Despite overwhelming evidence, neither Britain nor its allies have formally apologized for this atrocity. Survivors and their descendants are still waiting for reparations. Their demands? Acknowledgement, accountability, and action to prevent such inhumanity from recurring. The mustard gas experiments on Indian soldiers aren't just historical. They're a reminder of what happens when power remains unchecked. They expose systemic racism, exploitation, and enduring inequalities. The soldiers who suffered deserve to have their stories told and understood. By shedding light on this dark chapter, we hope to spark a critical conversation: what our governments are willing to do to people. History isn't just about glorifying victories, it's about confronting injustices. Recognizing these atrocities is crucial to building a future where such tragedies never repeat. Now the mantle passes to us. We can ensure this disturbing history is neither forgotten nor ignored. Share this story, demand formal recognition, honor the sacrifices of those soldiers. Together we can fight for a world where all lives are valued equally and where no one's pain is erased.